Wireless DJing with speakers and headphones that don't have cables connecting them to the DJ gear is kind of having a moment. I put it down to lockdown and to social media DJing over DJing in venues exclusively, where people want to go into places where it's harder to set up DJ gear traditionally with wires, and it's easier to have battery powered portable equipment where all the connections or most of the connections are done wirelessly. Whatever it is, it's having a moment. Alpha Theta has got its Wave 8 speakers, and it's also got its HDJ F10 headphones, which work with its latest AZ DJ gear to give wireless headphones and wireless speakers with anything. Headphones brand III has also got a system where you can plug this little transmitter into any headphones output, and its headphones will then connect wirelessly in much the same way with very low latency. And there are others. This is all designed for musicians and DJs to have zero, or very low rather, latency, which means that it's possible to do it in a way you couldn't do with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, because the time delay between doing something on the gear and hearing it in your headphones or speakers is too great. So we're looking for gear here that has got this high quality sound that doesn't have a big delay, and therefore that's usable by people who want to DJ with it, or musicians who want to use it, and producers and so on. So this is having a moment. Now, one of the brands that has tried to push this technology is a company called Dillinger Labs, and the brand is called SKAA, S-K-A-A. And this is a ultra low latency, professional, high quality way of transmitting sound over up to 50 meters or even further. And it doesn't matter if it's 1 meter or 50 meters, you get the same very low latency. In their pro mode, it's 19 milliseconds, which is close enough for finger drumming and scratching and DJing and that kind of thing. Now, SKAA's interesting because they made the technology. This is their little box. I'm charging it at the moment. This is their little transmitter box. And they do receivers as well. So with one of these and the receiver charged up, you get hours and hours and hours and hours of battery use with it. You can use it with any speakers and any DJ gear. However, they have paired up with a company that you've probably heard of if you're in any way interested in this space, which is Soundboks. Now, Soundboks, we've reviewed both of their speakers. They do incredible speakers. They've got a great reputation. They sound amazing. They're built really, really well. And they are built to work with Bluetooth, but in our case, most interestingly, with SKAA. So that means if you have Soundboks speakers and you have one of these transmitters plugged into your DJ gear, you can DJ. It sounds great. I mean, they really are good. As I say, we've reviewed them. You can check it out. And DJs are doing that. Lots of DJs are doing that. They are definitely the brand to watch in that space. But what Soundboks don't have is a subwoofer. And so if you want that real stomach churning bass, then you have to wire a subwoofer in, which kind of defeats the object of everything we're talking about. So Dillinger Labs, the company that makes SKAA, has decided to make a subwoofer itself. It's called, scarily, DFB, which stands for Death from Below. And this Death from Below subwoofer will work without the need for a receiver. With the Soundboks, you can just have them together, and I'm going to show them to you in a minute, set up with a pole, so the woofer's on the floor and the Soundboks speaker is high up. Now, Soundboks make two speakers. They make a big one, which is currently up to the Soundboks 4, which is incredible, but they also make a smaller one called the Soundboks Go. Now, in my spare time, I'm a DJ technology journalist and tutor, of course. In my spare time, I like to kind of push the technology away and DJ on old-fashioned vinyl. In fact, I've got a very small portable vinyl setup, which I can take anywhere and DJ from anywhere. So for me, the idea of having speakers, including a subwoofer, which are battery powered and wireless, is really fun with that, because my little portable system is battery powered. So I can have something that needs no cables, no setup, no plugging into the mains. I can just set it up on a pub balcony or on my own terrace at home or wherever I take it, and immediately have a cool little setup that we can live stream and record and just play to 10 people or 100 people or whatever, right? So for me, having something like that is really appealing. I'm one of those people that finds this technology fascinating. So when Dillinger Labs told me about the SKAA wireless battery DFB subwoofer, I was instantly interested, and they sent me one to test, which is what we're going to do in a minute. Put this on the floor, put a pole in it, put the Soundboks on top, super portable, battery powered, ages on the battery life, they last forever and ever. System that potentially is going to sound really, really good. So we're going to head over to my home now and to my balcony. and we're going to plug the whole lot up with my portable decks, and we're going to basically turn it on and have a listen and see what the setup looks like, see what it feels like to set up with no wires. We'll use this little transmitter that I'm currently charging in preparation here to plug my decks into, and well, we'll see what we've got. So without any further ado, well, let's head home and set up the Death from Below. So as you can see, I've got it set up on the floor down here, and I've put a pole on it, and that pole goes up to a top speaker, which is one of the Soundboks speakers. I've used the small one here, the Soundboks Go. And notice there's no wires at all going on anywhere around here. There's no wires between the two units because there's no way of putting wires between the sub and anything else. It hasn't got any audio inputs. It's solely to be used with SKAA. And so the idea here is that both of these units are being spoken to by the SKAA transmitter, the SKAA Danny transmitter, which I've got set up. Now, it's absolutely simple to get this going. I mean, it really is. I turned it on and it just found the transmitter. I literally had to do nothing. And so you turn it all on, you turn the transmitter on, you turn these units on, and you just adjust the volume at the front here. And that little volume control there decides how much bass you get. I mean, it's as simple as that. Now, there are other things you can do. So if you have multiple taps of that button that's in the middle of the screen now, and then turn the knob, you can do things like changing the EQ and stuff like that, which we'll talk about a bit more in a minute. But honestly, just to get it going out of the box is a matter of seconds, as long as you've got a signal being fed to it from the transmitter. Okay, so there it is, but why? Well, look, here's why I think this is cool. This is why I can't wait to take it out into the real world and give it a long-term test. Here's my speaker system, right? Sat on its own, could be anywhere. Could be sat on a balcony, as it is now. Could be sat on a terrace. Could be sat around a pool, at a barbecue or whatever. And over here, I've got the DJ setup. So this is just like the speakers that we just looked at, completely wireless. And this is a little 7-inch system that I use for kind of kicking back away from the technology, as I was saying. So here we've got a couple of decks, and we've got a little mixer, all very low key. You can see my records underneath there. But the important thing is, hello dog. The important thing is this little unit here. This is the transmitter. So you turn this on by tapping the button there, and it will automatically talk in ultra low latency to the speakers over there at 19 milliseconds latency, which is absolutely crazy. And they can be up to 50 meters away. Now, I've tested it in the past, of course, with the Soundboks, but the new thing now, and the thing that makes this completely unique as a system, is that no other system has got this battery wireless sub. And so it is what it is. It's cool. Now, funnily enough, the place that this is going to get its proper test in the future, hopefully not very long in the future, although it's actually winter here now, so it's quite cold. We might wait till the warmer months. Is this bar over here, the Ivy Sports Bar, which, as you can see, has got a lovely terrace down there by the marina, and it can all be set up, wheeled in and set up down there on that terrace with no fuss, even with no power, because it's all battery, it's all wireless, which is what makes this kind of system cool. It allows you to DJ in places where maybe you wouldn't normally get the chance to DJ. So let's give it a test. Well, I was really impressed with that speaker. You know, as I was playing with it and as I was reading the instructions and getting it ready to record that segment, I kind of realized that it's more than just something made for people like me. It's a serious item that you could use in music production because it's got lots of other things which I didn't really touch on there. You can change the delay of the speaker so that the bass is sitting where you want it with your higher end speakers. You can change the phase, you can change the EQ of it, so you can have it in outdoor mode so it's just punchier without the very, very, very lows, and so you can get it really loud while the battery lasts longer, or you can have full range if you're producing music with it. You can set it for rock and country where there isn't that much bass. Again, it's a different EQ. So they've thought about all this stuff, and you can also save your transmitters to it so it remembers the transmitter you're using, and you can save lots of transmitters. So if you're saying multiple DJ company that's got lots of DJs, lots of speakers, lots of transmitters, lots of people out there working, you can have it all configured as a company-wide system, and not just like I'm doing it, you know, basically as a semi-pro, just with one transmitter and one speaker, right? So it's a professional piece of kit, and the more you read into SKAA, the more you realize that the whole setup has been thought about from the point of view of professionals. Practically though, for what I just used it for, it is absolutely awesome, especially with that small Soundboks Go, because it makes so much more difference than it does with the bigger one, I would imagine, because the bigger one's already got awesome bass. And so as a tiny portable setup where I just want to take those decks and play somewhere where people are instantly interested in what you're doing, you've got 7-inch singles, they're coming over, they're looking, and you know, you don't want wires everywhere, you don't want mains cables everywhere, you don't want cables to speakers everywhere. I got no cables to anything there. The only cables I've got are to my headphones because, hey, I don't mind having wired headphones. It's just a great little setup, and it becomes a talking point, as well as the fact that you're playing on vinyl, and I absolutely love it. So, you know, from that point of view, it's a fantastic addition to any Soundboks speaker setup. But I think, personally, to the Soundboks Go, I think that's where it really works. It's the DFB subwoofer from Dillinger Labs, and this has been the Digital DJ Tips hands-on test of it. Let us know what you think. Is wireless audio a thing? Is it something you're interested in? Is it just a load of rubbish? Is it answering a question no one's got? I'd really like to know your views on it, so do let us know in the comments. But meanwhile, this has been Phil at Digital DJ Tips saying get good, get out there, and make the moments. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.